Welcome back to episode 3 of the 9 Degrees podcast. As I always say, it is the #1 educational, non-educational podcast in the world because you might learn something, but you probably won't. You're back with your favorite professors. It's your boy Jerome. We got Maddox. We got Jared. We got Jackson. As always, back for another week. I remind you guys literally every single week to do this, but go and join the classroom in Discord. Yes, we do talk in there sometimes. Yes, we do post links to articles in there sometimes. So come join, chat with us. You can, interact with us in real time, I guess. Also, remember, you can get the audio version of this podcast on all audio podcast platform thingies, whatever you want to call it. And one day later on youtube.com/Jerome Vaz. We also have Instagram, TikTok, all the socials at 9 Degrees Pod on everything. Class is now in session. How's everyone doing this week? This is, I don't know. It feels special. We just had an episode last week. We have another episode this week. Are we going to go one a week? No, probably not. But what's happened in everyone's lives? We got any interesting gripes?
Yeah, I got a gripe. Should I go first?
Go for it.
Sure. Yeah.
Was I not supposed to?
I mean, yeah, literally, I'm looking at my show notes here, and the first one, as we went over twice before we started this, was Jackson and his Easter gripe.
Oh,
well, he didn't step up. All right, Jackson, go for it, buddy.
Jackson.
Okay, well, so we are coming off of Easter weekend, and I actually have a complaint about Easter. Not necessarily about the holiday. I'm not really a holiday person. I don't really have strong opinions about any holiday in particular, but I feel like I got nothing out of Easter. I feel like Easter's not doing anything for me. And here's why. I did not get a day off work. So it's like, what kind of holiday?
You didn't get
most of them.
You didn't get like Friday or Monday?
No, I didn't get Friday or Monday off.
I didn't either.
Question. Don't you work for a very small startup company?
Yes, we don't get very many vacation days.
Sounds like you don't have a gripe with Easter. You have a gripe with your employer not
with your
giving
company
you time off for Easter.
Maybe. But here's the other thing that Easter did for me. So, how everyone is they're going to visit family. I didn't visit family because again, it's like a regular weekend for me and my family lives too far away. My second gripe is my favorite recreational activity, which obviously is pickleball. There was no one playing pickleball this weekend because everyone was busy for the Easter weekend. Yes, because people want to spend
time with their family.
So, but my thought is, what is Easter doing for me? Nothing. So I have a gripe with Easter.
What about Jesus that died for your sins or something along those lines?
I don't really have any I'm sure there are some holidays that are nice and all. I'm not really a holiday person in general, so I don't really have get super into holidays.
Maybe a larger question, is Easter doing something for the majority or the minority of people?
I mean, maybe. I don't care about the majority. I just care about myself.
Are we thinking globally? Because globally, it's definitely a minority.
Right.
Actually, maybe. Jackson, I kind of feel for you. I think this is bigger than just Easter. This is no, I'm being serious. I'm being genuine and heartfelt right now, you friggin' jerk. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, man,
this is, well, here's the thing, right? Right before we started recording, Jackson was like, Jerome, you cussed last week 3 times. So I was going to not say jerk, but then I decided, let's censor myself for the kids. But thanks, Jared. Thanks for saying what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I got you.
No, but think about all the people that live far away from their families, holidays are hard. It gets kind of sad. And that's why I said I was feeling for you because I did get to go home and spend time with my family for Easter, which was fun,
So you trying to console me by making me feel left out is how it is.
Yes. I just want to rub it in your face and say my family loves you more than yours loves you. So
that's also a good point though about people not living near their families, because it's if you don't get any time off, it's all right, here's a holiday, but I don't really have any extra time to go travel, so I just. And
you can only pick so many holidays to see your family on, and you're probably gonna pick Thanksgiving or Christmas,
right?
Yeah, I don't even know if Easter's a top 3 holiday to go see your family.
Probably, definitely.
No,
no.
It's not convenient.
Christmas,
I would say
Thanksgiving, and definitely Halloween.
I was going to say that exact same joke, actually. But no, in reality, it's probably a birthday of some sort, right? Either your own birthday or a mom and dad's birthday. Mom or dad. Unless your parents have the same birthday. That's kind of cool. weddings, like family friends. Yeah. So anyway, can't go do Easter every year.
So, Maddox, it sounded like something was bothering you this week, too. What was that?
Well, initially it was Jerome that was bothering me.
What did I do?
But
is it also my cussing?
No.
Oh,
Jerome often encourages me or us or his friends to go and watch certain shows, particularly animes. But he really was pushing on this live action Avatar.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So I did watch it because I'm a fan of Avatar.
Have you finished it?
I have not finished it. So
I haven't either.
Take what I have to say with a grain of salt. But I've watched the first 3 episodes, I believe, and I probably will not be watching the rest.
What?
But if you want to, I'm not going to sit here and talk about why I don't like it, because there's a lot of different reasons. I'm going to defer to Drew Gooden did like a 40-minute video on YouTube, like tearing this apart essentially, and it's very well thought out and hits like every single note. So go watch that, because that's pretty much sums up everything that I feel about it. But my gripe is not with the live action series in general. I don't like it personally. But Drum and I were out this week, and we met a friend, not a friend that we were friends with, but some guy we
gotta reverse for a second. We gotta talk about, maybe we circle back to what happened.
Okay, we'll circle back. Yeah.
Okay. We met someone. We met someone, a guy at a place. It was like an accident. I don't know why I'm being so like cryptic about this.
Cryptic.
He was an employee. He was an employee at the axe throwing bar.
Yes,
and he was very chill and friendly with us. It was very light on the crowd that night, and so he was just sitting there chatting with us. And it was
super
fine.
Cool guy.
Totally cool. Yeah, super cool guy. But I start sharing my thoughts on the live action Avatar, and this is my overall take on it. If I am sitting there watching it, and all that is going through my head is, dang, I really want to rewatch the original Avatar because it's so much better than this. They missed the mark. And I said that to him, and he called me a boomer.
God his ass.
I've never been so offended by a diss.
Yeah, and then him and I were just clowning on Maddox because we were like, "You're wrong. This show's good. Fucking boomer."
I'm not a boomer though. A boomer is like an age, like you have to fit the definition. I am not.
No boomer.
Here's the thing. Here's what I will say about Avatar. I think that yes, it brings back the nostalgia of wanting to watch the original and like how I felt in the original. However, have you gone back and watched the original?
Not yet, but I might.
I will say I watched it like recently, like at least book 1. And it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But when you watch it now, like the pacing is so slow. The dialogue is like silly, so sometimes it's like hard to get into. And yes, like you have all those expectations because you've like already seen it before, but at points in time, it makes it difficult to watch. So I think the one thing that the live action does well is, as an interpretation, is making it like more modern.
But I would argue that those are the things that made it special and made it good. And I am of the opinion that if something was good, you don't need to try to milk every dime out of the content. Yeah. And I understand if people disagree with that, but like obviously I'm an Initial D fan. I found this at Walmart, an Initial D full desk mouse pad, and I started watching the Initial D live action and didn't finish that either. So it might be a me thing. And like I love Initial D. So like I don't know. I think I think some people think about it differently. Like if you're a fan of something, like you're gonna consume it. But I honestly, I'm gonna like express my vote appropriately. Like if I'm not liking it, I'm not gonna watch it.
I just as a quick interjection, I don't know if I've ever watched a live action version of something that I originally liked as like an animated version, and liked the live action version at least as much as the animated. Like I always dislike the live action more than I do.
I think that's just like the age old argument of like the original is better than the sequel, or like the book was better than the movie. Like for me, the only time that has never held true is Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 2 objectively better than Rush Hour 1.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Like for me,
gefilte fish. Can I have the gefilte fish? Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so
it's
now
so
I have
good.
to go back and watch those. No, I would say like for me, it's usually like the original format is the format that it was like intended in. Like Avatar is better animated than it is live action because these people are like shooting fire out of their bodies somewhere. Like of course it's better animated.
But actually, here's my argument. Like when you go watch it, the bending actually looks pretty good, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah,
well, that's not my critique though. I mean, cool. Yeah, like obviously we have good graphic effects now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, but like think about like Harry Potter, for example, right? Like you have all the Harry Potter like Potterheads that are always going to say the book is better than the movies, no matter what. HBO's remaking Harry Potter right now, and like everyone's so up in arms about it because they're like, oh, it's not going to be as good as the movies. There's the same people that are saying the book was better than the movie.
That's,
you know what I mean?
That's interesting. But I was going to say, I feel like the Harry Potter movies was like the first thing that I thought of where it was like an interpretation of something that didn't detract from the original. They did it well. Like it can be done well. And I don't even know if if that's the same thing necessarily. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if book.
I mean, I do think there's a difference between adapting a book into like a movie versus adapting a show into a different show.
Yeah, because you already have the voices visual. And like so
fair.
Or even like the recent like Disney like re-ups on like The Lion King and
no,
like
those are bad.
The mediums.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, the medium that you tell it in, it's like I'm trying to like empathize with the lion. I don't know when a lion is sad, except when it's animated. Like I can't look at a lion and be like, yo, that one's sad.
No, it's a good point. I also think like the added layer of complexity with like anime specifically is like when you have all of these like fictional elements of like, like they did the One Piece.
Yeah.
And the One Piece live action, in my opinion, and I think like Rotten Tomatoes, like reviewers, like critics and stuff, most people agree that it was done really well. Is it going to hold up to the actual anime? I mean, never, because like,
Well, that's an interesting thing because we're talking about. I mean, most animes are manga to anime, and so like, I feel like really the problem is the anime to the live action for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a difficult format to go from one to the other because it's like you can just do things in an anime that make it good that like if you transitioned it to a live action, it would not be as good. But I don't know. Oh, but another thing, apparently, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently they had the original Avatar writers on staff while they were as consultants while they were making this for several years.
Had creative differences and
then they fired them.
Yeah.
Wonder why it came out bad.
Again, I don't think it came out bad, but I get your point. I want to circle back on why Maddox and I we were hanging out before this. We went to this brewery in Knoxville called Crafty Bastard. Real like, I think it's pretty well known in Knoxville, but it looked like a hole in the wall. Like the place was real small. They had a big outdoor area. And so we get there and the one guy that's like a bartender is like, he's like clowning with us and like giving us a hard time and stuff when we're ordering. He wasn't being an asshole. He was just trying to like mess with me, But it was chill and it was cool atmosphere, whatever. Maddox and I decide we want food. We're sitting outside by the food truck getting some tacos. And the bartender comes out to us and he goes, "Hey, I don't know why you guys are here or what, but there's."
He said, I don't know what you guys are into.
I can't even get through this. He says,
he didn't say, I don't know why you guys are here. He said, I don't know what you guys are into.
I don't know what you guys are into, but the NASA lecture is about to start. If you want to come back inside and listen to the lecture. And we were both so taken aback. And Maddox, like, trying to give the same energy this guy was giving us all night. He was like, well, that's not why we're here, but like, why are you here? And his like face got all red, and he was like, because I work here. But anyway, then we were forced to go inside, and like we started listening to this lecture, and Maddox, for whatever reason, got like super invested. I was like, we have to leave. We have to leave this place.
Was it on the 3-body problem?
No, it wasn't. It was about eclipses, and it was pretty interesting. Yeah. But
there's the one that's coming up.
Yeah, that's what it was here for. This guy was a volunteer, official NASA volunteer.
Which, what the hell does that mean?
I don't know what it means.
I thought he was a NASA employee.
But I was not trying to sit there because I thought it was. I mean, it was interesting enough for me to sit there and listen to him, but it was mostly just out of like respect because we were like 2 of 4 sitting in there, and Jerome just wanted to walk out on him. I was like, we can't walk out.
Like, we were sitting like literally in the front row, like the absolute closest you could be to him.
So anyway, Jerome made us walk out. If you're watching official volunteer for NASA, I apologize.
You made him walk out?
Yes. We could not be there. It was going to be like an hour-long lecture.
Now,
and we had plans to go to this axe throwing thing.
Yeah, we did have to go, but
a likely excuse.
Anyway, it was just
honestly
a funny
I
thing. I
do not hate the format of like a weeknight at a brewery, like just having a lecture about something interesting. I feel like that's
I actually agree with you. I think the Crafty Bastard was too small of a location. I mean,
yeah,
of course,
like
how
you
many
should
people
be able to
draw?
separate it out. It was like, this is like, okay, if you're in here, you're at the lecture.
Yeah, it probably helps to actually like consensually agree to that instead of being at the taco truck and getting roped back in.
Honestly, like maybe prefer that over live music. Hot take? I don't know.
Very hot take.
Is a hot
that
take.
Is probably boiling hot.
All right, well,
it would be.
Let me know in the comments.
It could be a niche for a bar.
Yeah, it could
a bar
be done
that
well.
has like sort of more academic content instead of live music.
That's a wild thing you just said. But okay, we should get into the articles for this week. First thing that I want to talk about, this just happened very recently. Diddy.
Diddy what?
Puff Daddy, Sean
Did he do it?
Combs. Did he do it? Ooh, that's a good one, Jackson. You should make a documentary with that name. Did he do it? That's a good name for a documentary.
Actually, say.
Anyway, Diddy is currently being investigated for, I think his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, one of the two, sued him last year for, well, most people know. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, so I'm not going to say the words. But for she sued him. And anyways, fast forward to now. I don't know that the lawsuit, like anything has come of it yet, and it's like still in the processes of the courts, But the other day, the FBI went and raided Diddy's house. And what did they discover? One key thing missing. Can anyone guess what that one key thing that was missing was? Diddy.
No idea.
Diddy was missing.
I was going to say his dignity.
I mean that too. But no, man, there's so many like weird videos coming out now. I saw one literally yesterday of Diddy like dapping up Justin Bieber before like Justin gets in his car or whatever, and he's like feeling up his chest like right here, trying to apparently like see if he's wearing a wire because he's like, oh, Justin's working for the feds, and
he's not even American.
Yeah, and then so the same day that that the feds go and like raid Diddy's house in, I think in LA or whatever, Diddy was it's like fleeing the country, going to like Antigua on his private jet. And last week we talked about that kid briefly, that like tracks airplanes and stuff. Same kid tracking Diddy's plane going to Antigua, right? So I don't know what is going on with Diddy. Again, like a guy that like works for him, like a drug mule for him, got arrested in Miami recently. I think they're trying to probably get him to talk by giving him some sort of I don't know, deal.
Not going to jail for the rest of his life.
I mean, my biggest question is just like, can rappers not just rap anymore? You know what I mean?
That does
Like-
sound a little bit like a boomer take. Like, why can't
Is
these
it-
guys
I
just
mean-
like stick to their job?
Have they ever just rapped? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of
This was
there's a lot
interest-
more to. Well, there's a lot more to rap than just
Yeah.
writing and stuff. It's like
Not that
it's sort of a
gotta be
culture.
in the
Diddy's
game.
doing is
This
This
gonna
is
be-
in the game.
This is interesting because I was talking about this with my fiance today because she works at the art museum here, and she got a call from somebody saying, "Hey, did you know that this piece of art that you guys have, the artist, he shot a dog like 50 years ago.
Oh my god.
50 years
Whoa.
ago. And he like
That's a long time ago.
He did do this apparently, and then he apologized for it and whatever. But then we were like, aren't some of the most renowned artists like really, really disturbed and have done
Crazy?
really awful like things like Picasso and stuff like that?
Didn't was it Picasso that like ate off his own ear or something?
Yeah, like
That was what's his face?
we really need a fact checker.
Yeah,
on this.
Yeah. We really need an intern to just
We
sit
do.
behind us being like,
If you want to intern for
Van
the
Gogh.
9 Degrees
Van Gogh.
podcast,
Anyway,
Van Gogh,
Van Gogh.
that's the one.
I think there's something about art, whether it's art or music, or like that. Not that
Not
everyone
medium.
that does those things is disturbed, but that like almost we appreciate the medium more when it is like
I
you know?
think
being on the
we are
edge.
all a little bit crazy, but giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt, not everyone traffics kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it. Hot take, not everyone traffics kids.
Right.
So-
There's a line.
Yeah. So, Diddy, good luck to you in Antigua, I guess. Update, as we're talking about this. News came out the other day also that he wasn't on the plane that went to Antigua. So we don't know where Diddy's at.
What?
And-
Diddy's
yeah,
plane
It was a
left without him?
decoy.
Yes,
Wow,
decoy plane, bro.
interesting.
The plane went to Antigua. Diddy wasn't on it. We don't know where
Diddy's
he
playing
is.
40 chess out here with the feds.
Yeah, dude. He's probably freaking with Tupac in Argentina or something. Anyway.
He's probably got like a bunker under his
Bunker?
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like
Honestly-
in his basement.
Honestly, I probably. But good luck to you, Diddy. I'd like to see you weasel your way out of this one. We'll see.
Yeah.
Next topic on a more lighthearted note, kind of, sort of. Dell computers. How do we feel? I'm an Apple Mac boy, like through and through. But if you like Dell, cool. More importantly, how do we feel about remote/hybrid work? Jackson, you work from home almost daily, right?
I used to, but now I only work from home once a day. But I used to for like 2 years.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yep. I
once
caught
a
that
week.
too.
Yeah. Once a week.
Well, I used to work from home exclusively for like 2 years.
I think we broke Jackson for a second. You realize you said you work from home once a day, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, once a week.
There it is. There it is.
That is something you would say as well.
And okay, so you work from home once a week. You used to work remotely for a full 2 years. I work from home often, not every day, but often. I would say I'm like a pretty hybrid schedule. Maddox, you work remotely almost, well, also hybrid-ish schedule, I would say. And Jared, I think you are the only one that goes into the office every day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we had this big thing in COVID. Everyone went fully remote, and a lot of companies went hybrid after that and have been trying to get people to come back. Dell, back in January of this year, announced that they wanted to mandate everyone come back to the office a minimum of 3 days a week if you lived within, I think, not even if. They wanted everyone to move within an hour and a half commute of a Dell office, and they were mandating everyone to move or to go into the office at least 3 days a week. Most employees said, F that. Like, I'm living a good life, and most like tech jobs like aren't requiring this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue living my life. Dell, last week, by the time this episode comes out, says for all employees that choose to not come into the office at least 3 days a week, they will automatically be ineligible for any promotions. What do we think?
That's a little messed up.
Well, it's better than getting fired, which is what the other companies are doing.
Also,
Are they though?
did they not hire them as remote employees?
Well, yeah, they did. And I mean, that was during there was a lot of hiring in the tech sector during the COVID years because there was a big, just sort of general expansion in that sector. And I think this is what other companies have been doing. This isn't really a new strategy. It's like they're saying, we're mandating that you come back to the office, and if you don't, you're fired. And the reason why they're doing that is because they need to cut how many employees they have, and they don't want to do it like they want to do it for a cause. They want to say, "Oh, we're firing you because you're refusing to come back to the office." They don't want to say, "Oh, we're just firing you, and we're going to pay you unemployment."
Severance, here's my specific question about this. Like, people always say like remote employees are less efficient at their job, and like, do we believe that? I personally don't think that's true. And of course, I can only speak of my own experience. Like, I would argue I personally am more efficient because there's like so many distractions in the office, like literally just like, water cooler talk or like whatever, like just chit chatting with people because you feel like you have to show face and talk to your CEO or whoever. I feel way less efficient. Whereas if I'm at home, I just put my head down and I just work, get my stuff done. Sure, I might be done by 3 p.m. and I have extra time for the day. What do you want me to do? You want me to just sit around and like twiddle my thumbs for 2 hours if I'm in the office, or like get on with my day? That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'd say there's like a couple of different levels to it. I think for one, I mean, it's like, has anybody ever actually like studied that? Probably not. I mean, I don't know if like anybody's actually. Like,
I actually think I've heard of a study that showed that it was people were more productive at home. Like,
yeah, and I'd also say like, I don't know if we are necessarily in the jobs that I think people benefit. Or like in the jobs where I would say like most jobs, like people aren't working like 8 hours a day. They're probably working like somewhere between like 4 and 5 hours. So like, what does it matter if you're doing
You're talking
like
actual hours of productive work.
Right. I'd say for like most people, like they're not like, they don't necessarily need the office. Like I would say like for me, like I need the office because like I need to go talk to people about getting things like put together in like a timely manner that like Teams or like Outlook wouldn't just wouldn't facilitate. But I'd say for most people who are like taking meetings for like most of the day, it's like, what does it matter if you're sitting in your office with your headphones or sitting in your home with your headphones? So I've always been a proponent of like the hybrid / full remote work. Like it should just be task completion. Can you complete your task within a deadline? Great. Okay.
Yes, I completely agree. I actually think this is more stemming from the fact that all of these big corporate companies are paying building leases and spending a ton of money in rent, and it's going to nothing, And
it's probably an ego thing with bosses of like, I want to be able to see you in your office.
Right. And my suggestion, hey, Dell, for those of you at Dell that are listening right now, if you're in Dell corporate, here's my unsolicited recommendation to you. Sell your property and downsize those offices. Because here's the other thing is like, if your CEO isn't coming into the office, like what kind of precedent does that set for, the individual contributor? And like, sure, they're going to make the argument of like, oh, they're traveling and blah, blah, blah. Bitch, I got to travel too.
I honestly, I think Jackson's point's probably why they're doing it though. I feel like it's probably just a scapegoat. They need to lay people off, and this is an easy way to do it.
And I mean, there are certain people in the business world where, like they have this sort of psychological thing. One, they think having people in the office gives them more control over them, and they won't say that, but that's the one reason why they want them in the office. And two is just, 30 years ago, back in my day, everyone always came to the office. Right. So obviously that's the best way to do it.
I think it's a lot of that.
That being said, though, I do think I'm personally more efficient at the office. So
I was going to say,
a bad example.
Even when I am doing work at home, like I honestly like to go sit somewhere. Like I like to separate my spaces out when I'm like I like to have.
You're a very big proponent of like go to a coffee shop or like a WeWork or something.
Yeah, like this is my work environment. This is my home environment.
I got another one for you guys. We on this podcast love to talk about a couple people. One of them being Elon Musk. I'm gonna say Elon Musk just as many times as possible so the algorithm picks it up. But one, Mr. Kanye West. I love talking about Kanye West.
Oh god.
But this is like Kanye adjacent, you know? Adidas. Okay. For the first, so you guys are familiar. Kanye, poster boy for anti-Semitism currently.
Sure.
And so they split ways with Adidas because, how would it look if a company that was founded under the Nazi Party was, doing business with an anti-Semite? Wouldn't look
was
good.
it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes. Well, not that
really?
They were like part of the Nazi Party, but like, yeah, like the company was founded around that time. Yes, the company was founded around that time by like people that were associated with the Nazi Party.
What? Really? Is this like a vault?
Yeah. No,
wow,
no.
There's several famous German companies that were active during the 1930s and before.
I gotta be honest.
What do you think they were doing during that time?
Yeah, I didn't know Adidas was
German. Oh my gosh!
Wow!
Dude, have you seen my shoe game? I barely know Nike is American.
That's fair. You're literally wearing a check right now. But yes, Adidas, German company, started by a guy named Adi Dassler and his brother, who I don't know his brother's name. And then I believe his brother left the company and went and started Puma.
Whoa!
But anyway,
didn't know that. That's
maybe his name was Puma Dassler.
I thought you were making his name up, honestly.
No, his name was Adi Dassler, I think.
That's hilarious.
We really need a fact checker.
That is hilarious.
But anyway, for the first time, so Kanye and Adidas split sometime last year or in the last like 18 months, right?
Yeah, this
because
was
of all
about
the stuff.
Elon Musk. Just remembering.
Right. So Kanye and Adidas split. No longer they're going to sell Yeezys, but they've been selling like a bunch of like knockoff Yeezy looking products, and then also they said they were going to sell off the rest of the inventory that they had, and just like give the profits to like some nonprofit organization. For the first time in 30 years, Adidas reported a net loss.
Whoa.
And it is attributed to the split with the Yeezy brand, which is insane because for as much shit as we talk about Kanye, the fact that he can cause a multi-billion-dollar organization that has been healthy for years and years and years and years and years to go negative for the first year. Now, of course, like the argument is they probably spent a lot of money to produce Yeezy products and do marketing for Yeezy, and then they like essentially just lost all of that.
Right.
That could be potentially why they're negative, but I don't know. The power of Kanye, we got to stop underestimating it.
Well, I was going to say, what aspect? Is it because they have an entire warehouse of shoes that won't sell, or
I think
is
so.
it because they? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's a weird like business reason because like if they were to go out and like sell Yeezy, like the streets still love Yeezy. Or sorry, I should correct myself. The streets still love the Yeezy brand. Yes.
Yeah.
And so like if they were to go out and sell the Yeezy brand, like they would sell them no problem. But I think to save face, like they don't want to, you know? And so, yeah, now they're just sitting on a bunch of inventory that they can't move. And the other Adidas products, truthfully, they're just not hitting anymore. So
how is this? So how is this about Elon Musk?
It's not. It's not.
Oh, I literally thought this was building into something about Elon Musk.
I was just saying Elon Musk because the algorithm loves when we talk about Elon Musk as well.
Yeah. So if I keep saying Elon Musk, does it? I thought we were just going to move to Elon Musk.
I see what you're doing. I mean, honestly, we might as well. Like, truthfully, those were really the main things that I wanted to talk about. So, Maddox, what do you got for the week?
I do have an Elon Musk thing, so I'll lead off with that.
There we go.
We've said it at least 7 times now. So,
does it actually, or just do people like Elon? I don't know.
I think people just like Elon, or people like controversy around Elon. That's what it is.
Well, his company's not doing great. They
controversy.
Yeah, Tesla shares fall because of deliveries dropping 8.5% from a year ago. Which honestly, this is just so on point for Elon Musk, in my view. It's like he promises X and delivers Y, which is less
And
than
delivers
X.
Twitter.
Yep, I knew that.
Yep.
I knew that was coming. But actually, you make a good point, though, Jackson. Like, do we think that's what it is? Do we think he's just being pulled in too many different directions now? He's got his hand in too many cookie jars.
Well, no, I mean, I think Tesla under delivering has been an issue for many years.
Yeah, that's like a strategy for them at this point.
But I mean, what's the deal with this 8.5% drop in deliveries, though? I feel like they did a lot of things. Like, they brought back the EV tax credit, and like
Cybertrucks
they were really
are out.
trying to they were like really trying to push cars. So I don't know what happened.
I would say, I'm sure there's a larger. Tesla's never been built on like the strongest of foundations. I mean, they had a huge lead in the EV market, and they've kind of lost that a little bit to the main competitors like Ford and Chevy, outside of like the Mercedes and more international scene. So
I'd agree with that.
It seems like the base was always a little shaky, and I don't know if they've done anything like remarkable or at least like foundational to like fix that. So this just might be the cracks getting bigger, or the cracks not having been filled, because I don't know exactly what about the 8.5% that has been like driving that. I don't know if it's like electronics based. I don't know if it's like battery production. I don't know if it's like the Gigafactory is like shut down. Like, I don't know what aspect of it. But it just always seems like it's we'll fix it next year. It's like that. Yeah, it's like being in a relationship, and it's like, oh, you're right, I should fix that. And it's like 1 year later, like you're having the same argument.
It's like, why are you still an alcoholic? Well, because I love drinking alcohol. That's why.
Wow. And it's like, I'll fix it though.
No one can. No. Okay. Just me? Okay.
Regardless of what it is, Elon Musk dropping the ball again as per usual.
Classic.
Classic Elon.
Silk Road Bitcoin. Do you guys hear about this?
What is Silk Road? The only Silk Road that I know is like the one in China, I want to say, that like literally where they like transport silk
like thousands of years ago.
Yeah, like 1,000.
Anyone want to explain Silk Road?
It's a website that's hosted specifically on like servers that aren't accessible through like normal like browsers, where you can basically buy like what would be considered illegal drugs, like in the US.
So it's the dark web.
Yeah,
dark
it's
web.
just like
it's hosted on. Yeah,
the dark
but it's
web.
a black market. But what I was gonna say is that like it has like surprisingly like a really good like reputation in terms of like the interactions between like buyers and sellers. Like the people who sell you things, like there have been like videos or like blogs who have like gone on and like bought like, I don't even know, like EpiPens or something, like not even the more extreme.
Yeah.
And
like people just trying to buy like affordable like health care drugs.
Right. Yeah. And the people who sell them are like, hi, like my name is blah, 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 blah. I hope you have a great experience buying this cocaine. They're like, because it's all reputation based, right? Like if you get like a bad rating.
How do you know this?
I just told you. There's
From
videos.
Experience.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not fucking around with that. Like you have to, you got to make sure that like your node is locked. Like you have to have like a Tor router. Or you have to have the Tor router. You probably need like, I know you can make like a.
You know too much about this. You're digging yourself deeper. You know too much about this.
Right.
I know about this.
Called, I don't know if it's like
when we were in high school, I used to think this stuff was so interesting. Like I would
you can make like like you can use a Raspberry Pi base to like make a like basically like mini server that acts as like one of the relays, so that you can like bounce off IPs, so that when you're in the Tor router, they can use that node to make sure that it doesn't get like it doesn't get locked on to like your like IP address or anything like that. I think it was called like a pirate or something. I don't know. I forget what it was.
The Pirate Bay.
Don't say anything too technical, Jared. You might get called out.
Yeah, really.
Right. Yeah. God forbid. Anyway, so you can buy drugs on the Silk Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So understood.
Anyway,
it's essentially the dark web.
Yes. Well, and there's a good documentary about it on Netflix, so go watch that. But that specifically, I think, is what this is about, because the government seized 50,000 Bitcoin related to the Silk Road the guy who founded Silk Road, I think. And they've been selling it off slowly, but they just moved 30,000 of it on Tuesday. So Bitcoin top.
Wait,
top?
what
They
is
gonna dump 30K Bitcoin on the market?
Yeah, how much?
Wait. What does that mean though? Like, who's they? The U.S. government?
Yes.
So they seized 50,000.
They moved it from the wallet that it was held in to Coinbase, which moving it from cold storage onto an exchange is an indication that you're about to sell it. So
it's adding value, and yeah. Okay, understood.
How much? As somebody who doesn't keep track,
almost. How many zeros is that one?
5.
If
4,
you have to say that,
4.
Like $210 billion.
Yeah, it's close to $1 trillion.
No,
well, maybe not close to, but yeah,
no
it's running up on
way. 50,000 times.
Oh, wait.
Actually, 50,000 times. Call it 65,000. What's that?
Yeah, that's like 300 billion. Oh
no way!
No, it's 300 million. 300 million. Sorry, it's running up on a billion, but it's 300 billion.
I think it's like
3 billion.
Yeah,
I think it's 3 singular billion.
50,000 times 60,000 is 3 billion. Holy shit! Okay, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's about.
Sorry.
It's about how much money Donald Trump says he's worth.
Yes, pretty close actually,
but not actually. Yeah. Anyway,
speaking of Donald Trump, should we get in my Donald Trump fiasco?
Sure, if you want
Jump.
to.
Jump.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so DJT, the new Donald Trump stock. It's actually not
Trump.
It's actually not a new stock. It's just a new ticker symbol. But so yeah, recently DWAC, which was Donald Trump's SPAC stock, which I don't know if I need to explain what a SPAC is.
You're saying so many things. You don't know what a SPAC is?
Special Purpose Acquisition Company.
No. Hold on. A SPAC is where you take some goo and you slap it on a wall that's got holes on it, and you
literally never used SPAC in your life. You have not earned the right. There's absolutely no way you have ever used SPAC in your life.
Ask me if I've used SPAC in my life.
Have you used SPAC in your life?
No.
Exactly. Thank you.
Also, it's spackle, is it not? It's not SPAC.
Yeah,
it is spackle.
It's spackle. Okay. Anyway. SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition
Company.
What's the C? Company.
It's a company for the purpose of acquiring another company. But that's irrelevant. Anyway, Trump was associated with starting this one several years ago. I think it was during COVID, I think. And recently that company merged with, I don't know, is it Truth? Whoever owns Truth Social?
Truth Social.
I think the Trump Media organization that owns Truth Social.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. Trump Media conglomerate.
Acquired that, and in all of this, changed the ticker symbol to DJT, which is Donald Trump's initials. So,
which is honestly fun. Yeah, that's so fun.
Pretty good choice.
Yeah,
that's a good marketing choice.
Great marketing.
My involvement in all this was not
as
involvement,
the resident Donald Trump lover on the podcast.
Go ahead,
Maddox.
Roll it back.
Let's immediately walk that back.
A few days before this event occurred, there was a post on Wall Street Bets by a guy who was like, hey, this is like a relatively unknown event that's about to occur. This particular stock has a low float, which essentially just means there's a small number of shares in circulation. So when a lot of demand for the stock comes in, since there's a small supply of shares, it can move a lot more than you would expect a typical stock to move. So he posts on there and is like, hey, basically just this event is about to happen. The ticker is literally Donald Trump's initials. When it starts getting marketed to the general public that there's a literal Donald Trump stock, and you have mass retail volume pouring into it, just through people that, are Trump supporters, which is at least half the country, right?
Yeah, a little less than, yeah.
We could see a really big move, and so I saw this post honestly, I saw it the morning, like right when it was posted, and I was like, hey man, that's like actually a pretty reasonable, play. Okay, so I bought some call options, but the problem was this guy made a very specific play that he was trying to achieve. He was trying to make a ton of money through options by basically betting that the stock would go from 30 to at least 90, but really more than 90, probably would need to go to like 120 or something. So that's like a 4x move at least in like a week, which is like,
oh God,
like really, really outlandish, right?
Yeah.
And
that's like meme coin type movement.
So, but so I bought some calls, and I didn't buy the $90 calls because I'm like, that's probably not going to happen. But I did buy some calls just to kind of, if it did start going up, that I would make money off of it. So that's what I did. And the post itself got a lot of attention from Wall Street Bets, and people, a lot of people started buying into it. And the day of the merger and the ticker change, the stock, it was up, it went up like 60% overnight, and then I think at its peak hit like 80, and then came back down to like 60 for a while, and is now much less than that. But anyway, so I made money on it. I was pretty happy. I didn't expect it to go as high as everyone was betting. And the thing is that everyone that was betting for it to go to this like 90 number or higher, since it didn't actually do that with options, they lost all their money because that's how options work. So
we know about that.
Yeah. So my thought is like, okay, this just happened. Everyone's, at least in the, Wall Street Bets / just the retail community, everyone's like, oh dang, like the play didn't work out or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, well, the stock it went up 100% in a week, and it's not really showing signs of just completely dumping from here. And also there's still like, it's still a low float stock, so it can still move a lot higher, and we haven't really gotten like the general public involved, like the initial thesis said, like that's what we were anticipating, that like the initial public would catch on to this, and there would be volume from that. So I'm thinking, okay, I made my profits. It wasn't as much as as if it had gone super crazy. But I'm like, okay, so here's the everyone's consensus at this point. Everyone that was buying the stock or the call options thinking it was going to go way up is all bummed out because they didn't get rich, and everyone's moping around. They're saying, oh, the play's over. So that was everyone that was long biased, and then all the shorts that are just like, oh, this is a piece of crap stock. It's literally a social media company that has basically no revenues. Like, this is garbage. So you have people that are just shorting it because it's just gone up 100% and it's worthless. And obviously, if it sustains those fundamentals, it's going to be worthless. But stocks, that's not how stocks are priced in the short term, right? They're priced based off other dynamics. Yeah. So my thought is, okay, like literally this everyone was waiting for this day because everyone thought there was going to be a huge move. It didn't happen. Now everyone is on the same side. Like, they just expecting it to go to zero from here. And I'm like, what if now is when you get the really big move? Because no one's expecting it, right? Yeah. So over the weekend, I formulate my Reddit post and I put my thoughts out there, and it was not well received. We'll just say that.
No, it was not.
It
was not.
It did not get any upvotes. I don't know how the upvoting system works, but it stayed at 0.
More downvotes than upvotes.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
But I think Reddit works on like a net.
Right.
No. That's right.
So I got like 100 something comments. I would say probably at least 80% of them were very, very negative. So
all of them.
Honestly, this, while it was, hurting my ego, I was like, well, this is kind of proving my thesis. Like nobody, like most people are not seeing the upside opportunity here, and that's usually like a good trade to make. So, anyway.
Wait, did you make the trade?
I mean, I traded, I bet a modest amount of money on this, like $1,000.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's all. Yeah. I made the trade. Usually if you're posting on Wall Street Bets, it's like you already have your position and you have to post a screenshot of it because it's like, all right, you're just talking crap. Like, put your money where your mouth is. So yeah, I had already established my positions, like $1,000. And granted, I'd made like 7,500 from the initial run up. So this was like house money essentially.
Yeah.
And so it was not well received. Monday morning, we open up lower, and basically just since Monday, we've just sold off every single day, and it seems like it's just going to go to zero for the foreseeable future. But anyway, like I'm not trying to keep playing it or anything. It was just really like this one, like everyone's on. It seems like everyone's on one side. Yeah, maybe they get caught off guard, and that didn't happen. So. That's
well, listen, if you're listening to the 9 Degrees podcast and you want to help Maddox out, go buy a shit ton of DJT.
No. Well,
wasn't it? I was going to ask a quick question. Like, wasn't it like, weren't they thinking that like part of like this becoming a thing? I don't know if it was an IPO or not, but part of it becoming a thing was to give opportunity to be able to flood money like legally into something that could help like Donald Trump pay for his bail.
Yes, that was part of it too. That, people thought that Trump supporters would just buy this as a vehicle to pump the stock up, and maybe he could like borrow against those shares or something to help him in his legal thing. I don't really know. Honestly, quite frankly, I did not do really any due diligence on this company. It was really just, I mean, it was purely for me just this dynamic where it seems like everyone's not expecting this thing to happen.
No, it's an interesting thesis.
Yeah, but the good news, I don't know if it's good news. So my thesis was not well received. I lost money on that trade. Actually, my options expire tomorrow, so technically, if it goes to like 100 tomorrow, then I would make money. So. Or when are we releasing this? Can we get this out by tomorrow?
No, it's not happening.
Anyway, a reporter from Wired magazine reached out to me and asked for an official comment on the stock because of my post. I imagine he reached out with several people that were posting about it in the community,
and they were like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, I gave him my statement. So, and I looked the guy up. He gave me his name. He's actually like a reporter. I mean, unless he's just using somebody's name. I don't know why.
He got a fake LinkedIn.
I don't know why you'd be doing like fraudulent reporting. Like,
you're getting nothing out of it. Like he's not getting like your bank account.
What did he ask you? He just wanted a statement about the stock and your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, he asked why I thought it was a good investment. And that's not really what my thesis was, but I gave him my thoughts anyway. I was going to read it. Can I read it?
Did you tell him? Let me guess what you said.
Okay.
Okay. I'm now Maddox Southern, and start scene. I think DJT is a good stock because on January 6th, 2022, when me and all my friends were at the White House. We all planned to buy DJT. No? Okay.
Weren't you the one who was
worried? 2021, by the way.
Was it 2021? See, I don't even know. Yeah. Maddox would have known that, though. I'm just going deep into this. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me read it because it's going to clarify all this.
Okay.
It seems to me that the majority of market participants are trying to price DJT based purely on the current financials of Truth Social. Markets are forward-looking and price assets based on what they receive, the cash flows of the asset will be in the future, not at present. I believe DJT will be viewed as an investment in Donald Trump as a whole, not just Truth Social. What kind of cash flows could Donald Trump create if he starts monetizing his brand in all kinds of various different ways? If market participants start asking that question, which I am betting they will likely arrive at a very different price for DJT than when valuing Truth Social in a silo. For the record, I do not own the stock. I am long call options. I am not a Trump supporter nor a Biden supporter. I am pro-political reform. I think it is silly that these are our only two choices for the person that's going to run our country. But when it comes to markets, I have to be agnostic in my personal views and strive to find opportunities where market participants' expectations do not line up with reality. I think this could be one of those opportunities.
I like that.
What a great statement.
That's actually a really good statement. I like it.
Because the reporter's getting into it because there's a political aspect to it, so you have to address that.
If we get canceled, then I hate your statement.
Oh, we're gonna.
No,
I'm trying to be unbiased. That's how I genuinely feel. It's just.
If you get canceled for that, whoa, the bar has moved so low.
Oh, but it has, Jared. It has.
Yeah, I mean, welcome.
Should we go ahead and move into our Reddit roundup for the week? Anything else specifically that anyone wanted to talk about? No, I don't.
I want to talk
about. Actually,
actually.
Oh, do you have anything else, Maddox?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this is we're sort of coming to the end of March Madness, but March Madness is a big thing. A lot of sports sports watchers enjoy it. I'm not going to talk about the sports aspects at all. Sorry, Jared.
That's okay.
Yeah, Alabama's still in at the time of recording this. Maybe they won the championship. Who knows?
Oh, I
tell us in the comments if they did.
Do.
But something I noticed just among coworkers, among friends, among family members is that the March Madness bracket challenge, it seems to have taken over our culture. I have so many people that I know who they don't watch sports at all. I don't watch sports at all. But they're filling out brackets.
Yeah.
They're, putting money on it, putting their their reputation on it, their, bragging rights. Yeah. It's just something that's, I think it's actually phenomenal how significant it is in our culture. I know that the four of us are all in a bracket challenge.
Yeah.
With several of our friends.
Mm-hmm. My least.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say my least favorite part about it is literally just the fact that everyone wants you to bet money on it. And it's like, if I'm in 4 different brackets, I'm out $100,
Unless you win.
You got to put...
That's true, unless I win. This year, I'm not going to win. I had UNC winning everything, so...
Yeah, well, they ran into a freight train, so what are you going to do about it? No, you got to put a little bit of skin on the
9 degrees...
Yeah. You can't. You go get vetoed it because we have two participants in the Final Four right now. We have Alabama and Purdue.
It's true.
Yeah, so yeah. No, Jackson, I think you're right. I know I've always been into the bracket and within smaller groups. It's been around for a while, but even my mom's work, she asked me on the Tuesday before the game started. She was like, "Oh yeah, don't forget, send me your bracket so that I can put it into the work pool that we have." And so it feels pervasive. Yeah. It almost feels more impressive to not participate in March, to not have the opportunity to participate. And that just might be a bias that we're centered around right now, but it does feel pervasive everywhere.
It is fun though, and I think for the most part, it's an even playing field. Regardless of if you watch sports and keep up with basketball versus if you don't, I personally feel like everyone has an equal chance. Look at our bracket right now, Anyway,
I do think it's funny though that also me as someone not watching sports that I am asked to come bet on sports essentially. I honestly feel like I'm just funding our friends' pools.
Yes.
But
I might
at the time of this recording, Maddox could win. It's it's either Maddox or another friend who also doesn't care about sports.
Right.
So really, I'm funding your next call. Option
you might win $300, Maddox.
Yeah, if I win, I'm funneling $300 into DJT.
The most phenomenal person I know who told me that they did a bracket is I have a friend who lives in Canada. Canada not known for doing well in the NCAA tournament. Sure. To be honest, she told me that she just did it because one of her friends really likes basketball, and so she filled out a bracket. She had Utah State versus BYU in the finals, so an intrastate Utah.
Okay,
that one blew
come on. Before you talk smack, I did one of the like ESPN like one-click brackets that used like ESPN analysis or whatever, and it had BYU winning the entire thing for me. So.
It's madness.
I'm just saying.
BYU that one busted pretty quickly.
Yeah, that did.
BYU is never getting out of there.
Yeah. Anyway, Reddit Roundup? Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Sure, so long as everybody says Roll Tide.
I'm not doing it.
Roll Tide, feller.
Go Heels.
Thank you.
Reddit Roundup. Maddox, what do you got?
I saw this post talking about Akibara in Japan. Which, Jerome, you're probably the only one that knows about Akibara.
Well, I don't know. We got some listeners. My mom probably knows where that is, you know?
You've been there. Okay, yeah.
You've been to Japan?
I've been there.
Nice.
Oh.
Did you like it, perchance? Did you enjoy your time there? It was one of my favorite spots.
In the modern age, there's a lot of, like, tech, like, hardware that you would imagine, like, would be really cool in, like, in the 90s, 2000s. I think it's a little bit outdated now.
That's a good point. I was disappointed with that aspect of it. The tech supplies, it was just like, this just kind of seems like outdated. Like chargers and stuff like that. I don't know. But I really liked the card shops, like the Yu-Gi-Oh card shops and the video games and that type of thing. Also, it is any Mega Man fans out there, Electown in the Mega Man games is modeled after Akibara.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's another reason I really like it. Anyway, someone apparently stole a $33,000 Blue Eyes White Dragon card from one of the shops there.
How do you steal that?
I don't know, man.
Because like Japan's not big on like weapons and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what they are? You know what they are big on though? Ninjas.
Stealth skills.
It was two individuals.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
They get caught.
And this is what happens when you read the story as you're trying to present it.
Says, for attempting to steal the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh my god, that's so much
they
less
were not
cool.
successful.
Clickbaited.
That's much less cool.
So was the card like displayed?
Look at the headline though. Thieves in Tokyo were caught after stealing a $33,000 Blue Eyes White Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh card. After stealing,
Here's what happened. Here's what happened. They stole it. They stuck it in their pocket, but before they could leave the store, they got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they did successfully retrieve the card. They did not get to keep it.
They put their hands on it.
They were trying to put it in their deck. And they just really needed it.
Enunciate that word.
They really needed it for their deck. They only had two. They needed the third one.
Literally a Blue Eyes White Dragon of anything, you know. Probably one of the oldest cards in history.
Well, I was gonna say what makes this one in particular. Are all Blue Eyes White Dragons $33,000? Why is this one?
It's just it's one of the older prints, the original print, and those was just collectible.
Like, who was Yugi's rival? Was it used by this guy?
This was Kaiba's. Yeah.
Oh,
this was Kaiba's card.
Okay, all right.
Let's duel.
You know, not for nothing. I had 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons back in the day.
You guys hear about the live action Yu-Gi-Oh that's coming out?
No, is this real? Is this real?
No.
He's gonna be like Karibo. It's in the heart of the cards.
I don't know why we need a live action version. We have the pinnacle of Yu-Gi-Oh media, which is Yu-Gi-Oh the Abridged series.
Why do you need to?
Have you ever seen that? Well, it's just
I have not seen it.
It's pretty long, first of all, and also it's funny. So I highly recommend Yu-Gi-Oh the Abridged series if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
put it on the list.
Oh, dang! Every episode, huh?
Yeah, she'd be doing it.
Kiki the cat just really be zooming around.
She got to claim her territory.
Mm.
This is her house, not mine.
If we don't have any other Reddit roundups, I got one. and hold on to your seats for this one.
Yeah, you might as well go for it.
This starts off by saying, yes, this is a serious post. It is on reddit.com/r/teachers. Okay. The post is titled, "I am a white teacher and my students call me a beep N-word."
Oh.
that is the title of the post. Okay. This one says. No,
Yeah, did he spell it?
Relax, chill out. I know that's what your people do on January 6th, but
Whoa.
I don't even know what this is that you're talking about, really. That's how uninformed I am with the political landscape. I think I can reverse engineer what it is, but
anyway, okay. Here's what the post says. This is my first year teaching at a high school that is Title I. I am a white male. I have great relationships with the kids, but they make comments. Several of my students call me a N-word. I have tried to ignore it, and I can, but I don't know if I should be. For example, I made a joke and one of the kids laughs and says, "This N-word crazy," and I just pretended like I didn't hear it. I sent out a message on reminding about homework, and a student replies, "N-word, what homework?" I know by ignoring it, I'm giving them the pass to continue. They're nice kids, but I feel like I shouldn't have to be the one to fix their language, nor do I want to try and end up on the 6 o'clock news for picking this battle. I just find it strange that I'm being called this slur as a white male. What are
You're
you
a
doing?
teacher. Of course, it's your responsibility.
Okay, Jared.
They shouldn't be.
Okay, Jared.
This guy's a
How do
little
you
lost,
tell them
I
to
think.
stop? How do you tell them to stop? You can't even say the
You
word,
say,
just say that's not school appropriate language.
dude, we couldn't chew gum in class.
Yeah, Bro, can you imagine if we had said something like that in high school?
Here's the thing, Maddox.
Game
Here's
over.
the thing, Maddox.
Yeah.
And I
come on.
love that you guys said this because I want to bring up high school experiences right now.
Oh gosh.
I do.
Do you?
want
So,
to.
Jackson, Jared, you guys weren't in Miss class in the ninth grade geometry. Shout out, probably one of the best math teachers I've ever had in my life. Shout out. Anyway. We were in this exact situation with her. We weren't using these types of terms or language, but we were so friendly with her that we felt like we could do and say anything we wanted. You know what I mean? And Maddox, I know you had that type of relationship with a different teacher too, where you just felt like you could say and do whatever you wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Until they have a bad day.
Until they have a bad day, and you get sent to the principal's office. There was this one time in Miss class, we wanted to play a prank on her. She stepped out for maybe 5 minutes. The entire class plotted, and we turned all the lights off. And you guys know in high school, we have those student desks, the ones with it's got an armrest almost, and it comes around on the front. We turned every single desk upside down, and then we all left the class. And then she came back 10 minutes later or whatever, to an empty classroom where all of the desks were upside down. And did any of us get in trouble? No. Did she have a bad day one time and just start screaming at us? Absolutely. So it's I feel for this guy because he's just trying to be a good teacher. He's trying to be, maybe he's not even trying to be the cool teacher, but he is the cool teacher, And I don't know. I'm like, is this the fight you want to pick? I don't know. Maddox, thoughts?
Yeah,
It's a tough one because the pranks I feel like it's different. This is it's a pretty,
But they're not doing it maliciously. They're doing it because they think he's cool, because they think he's a homie.
Yeah, they're doing it complimentarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't know, man. I honestly, we could get in a whole, debate about just, when is the word appropriate to use or whatever, and I don't think that's the point here. I don't know.
No. My point is, I think as a teacher, you gotta choose your battles, right? Do you want to be the cool teacher that's a homie, or do you want to be the one that's a stick in the mud and everyone hates?
The problem probably becomes from, okay, you didn't nip it in the bud there, or what? Yeah. How does this?
Yeah. Then what do they push it to?
Right.
And honestly, Miss class for me and the class that I had, it was exactly that. It started just with it being chill, and we would come in during lunch and just hang out and whatever, and then it escalated until eventually we were flipping desks upside down.
Well, And I would say as well, there were some teachers who were like, you don't call, like, you, well, okay, we all knew a teacher who was like, you only call me like this name, but, you know, whatever. Like that was a whole thing. But I know like Mr. He was like, don't you call me Mr. You don't call me bro. You don't call me man. You call me Mr. Like that's my name.
You do that day one.
Right. And he was like, he was all about the discipline.
Keeps the cat.
Yeah, YouTube watchers only. But no, so I would say like you got to do that like from day one. I agree with Maddox. Like at this point, you just got to like write it out, let them like go to the next level. Like it's almost May. You're about to like graduate them to the next level. But you gotta lay down the law first about just like, this is my name. That's all we're saying.
Actually, yeah, you make a great point. I think maybe he's just like, this year is a lost cause, but next year you need to like, you gotta hit it strong.
Yeah,
hate your students.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah. Metaphorically.
You know, being a teacher is hard. It's especially in these times. It's like, you know, they face a lot of pressure from both parents, students, and their administration.
And the internet.
So they're really...
And Twitter.
Well, have you guys seen those like TikTok videos of like students just absolutely bullying their teachers, like physically, like punching them and stuff? And then it's like, you as a teacher, what are you supposed to do? I've seen so many like TikTok comments where it's like, as an adult, you should never put your hands on a kid, which I agree to. Like, I agree with the idea of that. However, when it's like a 17-year-old junior in high school that literally just slapped you in the face, like, what do you expect me to do? Like,
who's got like a D1 scholarship to Georgia to play football?
I feel bad. I've literally seen TikTok videos of like, 200-something pound linemen that are like 17 that literally just pick up a teacher and just suplex them. And it's like, what do you expect me to do? Anyway,
lay down the law.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I'm never going to be in this position, so I sympathize, I guess. I don't know.
Well, should we wrap this episode up?
Yeah, I think it's been a good one.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you everyone for watching episode 3 of the 9 Degrees podcast. As always, if you want to interact with us, the professors, talk about all the current events and things that we're talking about, join the Discord. We say it every time. It's called The Classroom. Come be our students. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, like this video, rate us 5 stars on all your podcast platform thingamajigger bobs, Instagram, TikTok at 9 Degrees Pod. Thank you guys for watching the episode. Class is now dismissed.